our first speaker represents PreZero, a company fully committed to zero waste and sustainable transformation. He will walk us through how PreZero is closing material loops, supporting communities and helping businesses transition to circular models. Please join me in welcoming the Managing Director, Marketing and Corporate Affairs at PreZero International, Markus Sagitz.
So, hello everyone. Thanks for having me on stage. So I would like to go a little bit through our idea and our perspective on the zero waste topic, because I think we all read that quite a lot and in different ways. And the fact that we read a lot about zero waste initiatives and things like that, I think we all can agree on the fact that we see a huge potential in that, because there is quite a lot in that. But every time when we see a lot of potential, it starts to be a bit like buzzwording. And I mostly compare it with the buzzword of digitalization, because it's mostly the same, because everybody understands that digitalization is very key for success in the future and things like that. But a lot of times, different people have different perspectives and different understandings of what they mean when they talk about digitalization. And the topic of zero waste is more or less the same, because we do have quite a lot when it comes to zero waste, because there are zero waste cities, zero waste shops, zero waste ideas, zero waste mindsets, all that stuff. But especially when you would like to create an industrial impact, and when you would like to create sustainable infrastructures that are on the road to zero waste, you have to define a kind of standard. And this is what we questioned ourselves when we thought, okay, when zero waste is our idea, because zero waste means for us zero waste of resources, because we would like to bring all the resources that we already have in the closed loop. And this is why we started to, make our luck in our hands, and we started to implement, or we started to initiate the development of a special DIN SPEC, because we said, okay, when we talk about circular economy, when we talk about zero waste initiatives, we said, okay, it has to be comparable and it has to be scalable, especially for different industries, especially for different infrastructures. And so this is why we started to initiate that, together with TÜV, together with DEKRA, together with other scientific industries. This is open source, so this is just a DIN SPEC, but we said, okay, we do not want to invent the 1,001st green label in the EU, because we said, okay, we would like to be the enabler, to be certified as a zero waste company, zero waste production site, whatever. So this is why we said, okay, this is really key for us, because it started within our huge partnerships in the sports industries. And every time when you have a sports club and you Google that and you said, okay, what's the most sustainable club in the German Bundesliga? I think you get 3 different results with 3 different top 3, because there's no idea of what is sustainability about. And this is why we said, okay, we need a clear framework, clear criteria, open source, no greenwashing at all, and this is why we said, okay, we have to initiate that. And then we have these bronze, silver, or gold medal stuff, so that we say, okay, bronze you get when you have more than 85% of recovery and recycling rate, 90% silver status, and gold status with 95. And this is how we get further, because as I said, so we say, okay, it's not about no waste, because every time when people come together in a football stadium, at an event like this, waste will occur for sure. We try to find ideas and measurements of how we can reduce the waste or avoid the waste for sure. This is why the big R's for sure are the basis or the foundation of this idea. But the idea is of zero waste of resources. We do not want any resource come out of the system. And this is why it's so crucial for us that we take this as a fundament, and that we then go ahead with all this having in mind, and then we can transform complete infrastructures and complete venues. And this is what I said before, because we are very close to the sports industry. We are partnering with TSG Hoffenheim for where the PreZero arena is, and we made it up there because we started with different projects. We used the cutted grass to make grass paper out of it. So the autograph cards of the players are made of this cutted grass. So this is really cool because all the favorite players lost their liquids there, and then it's cool for the fans. And then you can see, then you can have a kind of story, because this is about more sensibilization of understanding of if you treat the waste right, you can give it a second life. We have this reusable cups there, and then we changed the system. And then afterwards, when we had these different projects, we put this umbrella idea of zero waste over the top, and then we said, okay, now we have data management, now we have the holistic approach, we have the logistics, we have the training system that we implemented, because the best infrastructure doesn't mean anything if no one understands how to treat and how to sort the waste. And this is why we said, okay, now we can go further, and then we made it up to 91% of recovery and recycling rate. Now it's not only the arena, now it's the entire club with all the offices and all the training facilities. And we are very proud that we can now scale it, because we know it works. And we do this in the retail business as well. We belong as PreZero to the Schwarz Group with Lidl and Kaufland. We have so many experiences in retail as well, and we made this kind of concept to transform entire country infrastructures for Lidl and Kaufland. For example, in the Czech Republic, with more than 95%, so we made it up to the gold standard. And that's really cool for us, because we know it's going to work. And then we have the figures, as I said, so it's been data-driven. So we collect the data, because if we know where we would like to go, we need to know where we start. And then we have these huge numbers. But I think the one thing is to create a kind of lighthouse, as I said. So this arena, it's PreZero Arena, there's a huge illuminated logo on the outside, and if you go by there at the Autobahn 6, I think you have to read that, or you have to see that. But such a lighthouse project is more or less easy to implement, but the bigger challenge is to understand how can we create a branch standard out of that. So how can we make this as a standard, as an understanding of what do we mean when we talk about zero waste. And this is what we have to implement in our minds when we are talking about this, because this is what sustains different industries and different business models. Because the Bundesliga, so the sports industry in this time, is the first one who put the topic of sustainability at the licensing for the clubs. So if they do not fulfill these kind of criteria, they will maybe not get the license for playing football in the first professional football league. And so this definitely affects their own business model, playing football. And we see this in different other industries as well. So this is really key for us, that we understand this as a sustaining of different business models, and this is what we do, and this is why we are very proud to have this developed, implemented, and proved that it works. So thanks for listening, and I would like to get in touch with you, all the guys, and have a good evening and afternoon.
Thank you, Marcus.